We start in Japan, where the parliament has elected the country's first female prime minister. Sanae Takaichi took over as head of the ruling Liberal Democratic Party after the LDP lost its majority in the July election. The party is now teaming up with the smaller right-wing Japan Innovation Party to form a minority government. Takaichi is seen as a hardline conservative who supports traditional gender roles as well as a hawkish foreign policy.
She's 64 years old and following in the footsteps of her role model, Margaret Thatcher. Sanae Takaichi is a more than 30-year veteran of Japanese politics and a conservative hardliner. Following the collapse of Japan's previous government, Japan's Iron Lady finds herself at the height of her power.
This agreement is a significant step. We will work hard to push Japan forward. Thank you very much.
Takaichi is known for her tough stance on defense and aims to revise Japan's pacifist constitution. A staunch traditionalist, she also opposes same-sex marriage and allowing women to keep their maiden names. Economically, she favors increased government spending, tax relief and support for industries like semiconductors and AI.
We need a stable political situation. Without that, we cannot put robust economic policies into action. We cannot follow a strong foreign policy, and the same applies to national security.
But she faces major tests, from rising prices at home to tricky relations with China and the United States. Off-duty, she's a self-confessed heavy metal fan and a former biker, a personal detail that stands out in buttoned-down Japanese politics.
For more, I'm joined now by journalist Martin Fritz in Tokyo. Martin, tell us more about Sanae Takaichi. Who is she?
Well, as we heard before, she is a very conservative and certainly a strong nationalist. Her lifetime idol is Margaret Thatcher. That's why she likes to see herself as Iron Lady. She regularly visited the controversial Yasukuni Shrine, which honors Japan's war dead, including some politicians convicted of war crimes. And according to a column of her website, she justified Japan's war of conquest in Asia with the intention of waging a defensive war. But she has also a softer side. She used to love motorbikes and the Toyota sports car. She was a drummer in a heavy metal band. And when she married, she adopted the 3 kids of her husband from his previous marriage. The couple divorced and then remarried, and now she cares for him after he suffered a stroke.
Mm-hmm. What does her election mean for Japan's political landscape?
Well, Takaichi is a woman who does not want to improve the low public representation of women in Japanese society. However, she has broken the glass ceiling, or should we better say the bamboo ceiling. She is the first woman prime minister. She's also the first woman at the top of the Liberal Democratic Party in its 70-year history. So her election today will make it into the history books. Also, she leads the most right-wing government of this century in Japan. Her old coalition partner was the Buddhist and centrist Komeito party. Her new partner, Isshin no Kai, is reform conservative. So this means a clear shift to the right in Japan.
A clear shift to the right? What does that mean for the challenges ahead?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
If the Japanese government now performs this market shift towards the right, what does that mean in regards to how they are going to tackle the myriad of challenges that lie ahead?
For example, there's the big question of how to deal with foreigners. We saw a rise of a right-wing populist party, the Sansei party, at the upper house elections in July. And Takaichi, together with her partner, they want to pursue a foreigner policy which brings voters who have left the LDP and gone to Sanseito to go back to the LDP. So that means she might restrict the number of foreigners settling down in Japan. She might make it more expensive for foreigners to visit as tourists, for example. And of course, on the other hand, she knows that Japan's economy cannot work without foreigners, so she will let foreigners in, but not in big numbers as before.
How might Takaishi's foreign policy stance, especially her views on defense, affect Japan's role in the world?
Well, Takaichi and Ishin's co-leader Yoshimura want to continue the defense build-up and may raise taxes to finance this extra spending. They want to deter China from invading Taiwan and from occupying Japanese islands in the East China Sea. I think, first of all, Takaichi will aim to establish a good working relationship with President Trump. He will visit Japan from next Monday onwards, and she also has to contain the LDP's anger about the tariffs, the US tariffs, and the $550 billion investment commitment her predecessor made. So she will have to compromise. I think she will attempt to represent Japan as a strong country to the outside and hiding the big dependence on the US.
That was a journalist, Martin Fritz, in Tokyo on Japan's appointment of its first female prime minister. Thank you so much.